Hello? Oh, hey guys, how's it going? Welcome in here to Rover Sports. Got off to a little bit of an interesting start there because my clock didn't exactly get going on the video. But I wanted to talk tonight about the first topic I'm going to talk to you about is Saquon Barkley. And this is pretty much the most recent topic that can be covered. Saquon Barkley to the New York Giants. It's no secret I'm a Giants fan. And with Saquon Barkley, he is the preferable option at number 2 for the New York Giants. I'm a big proponent of keeping Davis Webb on the football team. I think Davis Webb has a great future in the NFL. I love what I'm seeing from this kid. Just because he was drafted in the 3rd round out of Cal doesn't mean that Davis Webb cannot be a successful quarterback in the NFL. Davis Webb played for dog shit defenses in college, so his win total was down because of that. At Texas Tech, he would have needed to put up 60 or 70 points some games to win. Pat Mahomes, who beat out Davis Webb, ended up being a very good quarterback prospect. And then he went to Cal, Davis Webb, transferred to Cal, had a successful career there, and then he was taken in the 3rd round with the Giants, and Ben McAdoo left him off at the Nile River, kind of like Moses was let off at the Nile River. What I was going to say, though, is I'm confident that Davis Webb can get the job done. Guy has good arm talent. Guy can get the ball out quickly. And plus, Josh Rosen might be a good prospect at quarterback, but Eli Manning, I want Eli to play another 2 to 3 more seasons, and you can't, I believe that Davis Webb should get an opportunity because I think Davis Webb, again, could be a guy that could be a 10-year starter in the NFL. I think he has a lot of the skill sets that guys, I'm not going to say he's Matt Stafford, but Davis Webb does have a big arm. And when you look around the NFL, like Davis Webb's skill set could be, he could have like a Derek Carr kind of a skill set where he's getting the ball out of his hands quickly, he's getting the ball out of his hands with good routes, and I believe that Davis Webb is certainly going to be a guy that if you listen to his intangibles, Davis Webb will be a quarterback for the Giants and he'll be very, very successful. And worst case scenario, Davis Webb doesn't pan out, then the Giants that season will likely fold. So if they give the keys to Webb and he goes 2-14 or 3-13 and he falls on his face, well then you will know to then draft a quarterback. And in this year's quarterback draft class, I mean, Josh Rosen is the most sure thing out of all the quarterbacks here at the NFL draft. But again, is he going to be willing to compete with Webb and Eli? Is he going to be willing to be patient and learn from Eli Manning? He says he would have. And then you're also missing a chance to go after Saquon Barkley. And I love Saquon Barkley as a franchise running back. And I think Saquon can help Eli try to get another championship, which is what every Giants fan should be hoping for here within the next year. I think that the talent that the Giants are bringing in now, the Alec Ogletree trade, I believe the Giants, when you look at the Redskins and Cowboys, the Giants have just as much talent as both of those teams. You still have Odell Beckham. You still have Olivier Vernon, Jason Pierre-Paul. You still have B.J. Goodson, Landon Collins, Darian Thompson, and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie that is now going to be moved to safety. You have a new and innovative defensive coordinator. I expect the Giants to fully compete for a playoff spot next year, and adding Saquon Barkley to this mix is a brilliant, brilliant move. Now, if Saquon Barkley gets selected by the Browns, which I would give them credit for, would be a good move for the Browns. If I were the Browns, I'd go 1, Saquon, and then at 4, either Baker or Josh Rosen. That's what I would do if I was Cleveland, because you could still get Baker Mayfield at number 4, and he's the best quarterback for you. But if the Cleveland Browns take Saquon Barkley, which would suck as a Giants fan, you would simply be able to trade back the number 2 pick with the Denver Broncos, because Denver, I doubt, is going to get Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk's going to Minnesota. Again, I laid that out in my video before. I think, aligning with Mike Zimmer is smart. I think that aligning with Kyle Rudolph, with Dalvin Cook, all these offensive weapons, I think that all is very smart for Kirk Cousins to do. And then he goes to a winning culture where he doesn't have to see Tom Brady in his division. And also he goes to a very stable ownership group and a team that has a terrific defensive line, a terrific backfield, a defensive backfield with Xavier Rhodes, Trey Waynes, Mackenzie Alexander from Clemson, Harrison Smith, Andrews Sendejo. It's a fantastic defense. Anthony Barr, Kendricks, Everson Griffin, Brian Robeson, Linval Joseph, Daniel Hunter. It's an elite defense that they have in Minnesota. So Kirk Cousins is going to go to the Vikings. I'm pretty sure of that. He's a guy that thinks thoroughly in his decision-making. Going to the Jets, there's way too much unknown. It's a project that's kind of bare, meaning that you need a lot of pieces there to then be successful. Even though Kirk might make a little bit more money with the Jets, I think Kirk wants a stable situation and a chance to compete deep into January in these playoffs. So with that being said, Kirk going to Minnesota gives the Giants options at number 2. If Saquon's not there, the Giants obviously should trade back. I don't want them taking Josh Rosen. I do have questions whether Rosen loves football or not, and I have questions whether Rosen will get along with Gettleman well. So I think that the perfect fit, if it's not Saquon Barkley, I advocate to trade the pick back to Denver or the Jets so you get number 5 or number 6, and then you take one of the safest prospects in this draft, Homedale, New Jersey native, Quenton Nelson. You get Q, you get Quenton Nelson, you plug him in at guard, you could possibly kick him out to tackle. He played tackle in high school. Very versatile guard that you'll stick on the right side of the offensive line. You're already trying to bring in Andrew Norwell from the Carolina Panthers. You might try to get Nate Soldier, who's an above-average left tackle. And then suddenly, Quenton Nelson's a guy, a foundational piece that you could build your offensive line around for the future. So you end up getting a guy like Quenton Nelson. And then in the second round, you go out and you get Darius Geis from LSU, or you get Sony Michel. And then that's still quite a haul. Your running game massively improves, and possibly you get some compensational value for the swappage of the picks. Possibly you get maybe another second-round pick. You could try to get a second next year, a third. I doubt that they'd give you a first over all of those, over just 3 spots, because you would trade 2 back to about 5 or 6, or either trading with the Broncos or the Jets. The other option is to take Buffalo's 2 picks in the latter part of the first round and maybe try to get a first rounder next year, like maybe try to get 21, 22, and then a 2019 first round pick. But the problem is that you would miss Quenton Nelson. And Quenton Nelson's a guy that the Giants are going to love. He plays with that gritty edge. He wants to humiliate opponents, and he wants to absolutely devastate them. So Quenton Nelson fits the culture of the Giants to a T. He's a great guy to bring in the locker room, and he can help try to stabilize this offensive line. So I look at Quenton Nelson, and I'm a fan of Quenton's work. He's a Homedale, New Jersey kid. He cares deeply about the New York Giants, and that's where I would go if Saquon were taken by the Cleveland Browns.